The burning summer sunlight pounded harshly upon the filled shoreline. Joyful noises and lively talks filled the surroundings as visitors played in the refreshing waves, constructed detailed sand buildings, and rested upon colorful towels. Within the crowd of sun lovers, Beckham appeared noticeably mismatched, quite obviously so. His pale complexion, usually concealed under loose shirts and oversized trousers, had become a furious, painful hue of scarlet. The bathing garment he had hesitantly worn at his companion's urging now seemed like a harsh mockery, highlighting the sharp difference between his lobster-like scarlet upper body and the fair skin that his regular garments had shielded. "I advised you to apply more protection," Lena remarked kindly, her tanned skin shining with a blend of ocean moisture and sun lotion. She flipped her lengthy, dark locks over her shoulder and offered Beckham a compassionate glance. Aileen stretched out on a towel close by, raised herself on her elbows, her spotted face wrinkled in a mix of entertainment and sincere worry. "Oh, Beck, you're going to sense that tomorrow." Beckham's cheeks warmed to an even deeper scarlet, though it proved challenging to distinguish beneath the severe sun damage. He searched for his discarded shirt, grimacing as the material grazed against his sensitive, inflamed skin. "I am okay," he murmured, avoiding direct eye contact with both ladies. "You do not appear okay," Lena insisted, extending to contact his limb. Beckham pulled back, profoundly humiliated by his personal response. "Just leave it, all right?" he retorted, instantly regretting his sharp manner.
"Sorry.
"I believe I am going to return home." Aileen sat fully upright now, her forehead creased with concern. "At least permit us to accompany you back. You genuinely do not look well, Beck." Beckham shook his head, already collecting his belongings. "Thanks, but I will manage. See you later." As he trudged across the warm sand, Beckham could sense their worried stares trailing him. He accelerated his steps, desperate to escape the shoreline and the embarrassment that adhered to him like the particles of sand clinging to his feet. The journey home proved pure agony. Each stride sent sharp bursts of discomfort through his damaged skin, and the glances from people passing by only intensified his unease. By the time Beckham reached his front entrance, he stood on the brink of tears. "There you are," his mother's tone called out as he entered inside. "How is the shoreline?" "Oh, dear, what occurred?" Beckham attempted to pass by her, but she caught his limb, her eyes enlarging at the view of his lobster-like crimson skin. "I received sun damage," he mumbled, stating the evident. His father appeared in the doorway and released a low whistle. "Looks like somebody overlooked their protection. You are as crimson as a tomato, son." The effort at humor landed entirely flat, and Beckham sensed his throat constrict painfully. "Can we avoid this right now? I simply desire to proceed to my chamber." His mother's expression softened with worry. "Of course, dear. I will bring you some soothing gel shortly." Beckham nodded appreciatively and withdrew to the security of his sleeping area. He cautiously removed his shirt, grimacing at the sight of his image in the reflective surface. The stark difference between his damaged skin and the fair lines where his bathing attire had covered him proved both startling and humiliating. As he delicately applied soothing gel to his sensitive skin, Beckham made a silent promise to himself. Never again would he permit himself to be so revealed, so exposed. From this point onward, he would adhere strictly to loose, concealing garments, regardless of how warm the climate became. The following few weeks passed in a haze of shedding skin and ongoing discomfort. Beckham declined every invitation to socialize, fabricating reasons about summer studies or tasks. He ignored the concerned messages from Lena and Aileen, unable to confront them after his humiliating breakdown at the shoreline. Instead, Beckham withdrew deeply into himself, devoting extended periods alone in his chamber. It was during one of these isolated afternoons that he discovered himself casually browsing through digital networks. His attention was abruptly captured by an image of a group of companions at a swimming gathering. What struck him was not the grinning expressions or the sparkling liquid, but the diversity of bathing garments on display. One individual in particular drew his notice. They wore a flowing, vibrant outer layer that seemed to both conceal and gracefully highlight their shape. Beckham's digits hovered over the image as a peculiar sensation stirred in his torso. He had never considered that there might exist choices beyond the standard swimming shorts he had perpetually worn, choices that could supply more coverage while still permitting him to enjoy warm season activities. Before he could persuade himself against it, Beckham commenced exploring for comparable styles. His screen rapidly filled with images of flowing loose robes, delicate wraps, and graceful swimming gowns. Each item seemed to offer a tempting promise of both safeguarding and liberty. Heart racing, Beckham selected a simple black swimming gown. The model wore it over a single-piece bathing suit, with the material draping gracefully to mid-thigh. Without granting himself time to reconsider, he added the gown to his selection and finished the acquisition. The days until the parcel arrived felt endless. Beckham jumped at every noise, terrified that his parents would intercept the delivery and demand an explanation. But when the plain brown container finally appeared on his mattress after education one day, he breathed a deep sigh of relief. With shaking palms, Beckham opened the package. The material proved gentler than he had imagined, flowing like liquid through his digits. He paused for only an instant before removing his garments down to his underlayers and slipping the gown over his head. The transformation proved immediate. The loose material skimmed gently over his form, concealing the sections he had always felt self-conscious about while somehow making him feel more self-assured than he had ever sensed in regular swimming shorts. Beckham rotated slowly before the reflective surface, marveling at how the gown moved with him. For the initial occasion since the sun damage episode, Beckham sensed a spark of enthusiasm about the possibility of returning to the shoreline or the swimming area. He imagined himself wading into the liquid, the gown billowing around him like a protective enclosure. But as quickly as the imagination formed, reality came crashing back in. What would his parents declare? What about his companions? The notion of the glances and murmurs he would inevitably encounter made his abdomen churn with worry. With a heavy sigh, Beckham carefully folded the swimming gown and concealed it away in the rear of his storage. He was not prepared to confront the world in it yet, but knowing it was there, a secret possibility, provided him a peculiar sense of comfort. As the warm season faded into autumn, Beckham's sun damage became a distant recollection. But the effect of that day lingered profoundly. He continued to wear loose, concealing garments even as the temperatures decreased. His companions noticed the modification, their worry showing in the concerned glances they exchanged when they believed he was not observing. It was Lena who finally addressed the topic. One crisp October afternoon, the three of them, Beckham, Lena, and Aileen, were spread on the floor of Lena's chamber, supposedly preparing for an upcoming history examination. Beck, Lena commenced hesitantly, setting aside her textbook. Is everything fine? You have been different since that day at the shoreline. Beckham tensed, his grip tightening on his writing tool. I am fine, he mumbled, refusing to meet her eyes. Aileen scooted nearer, her tone gentle. We're worried about you. You scarcely ever socialize anymore, and when you do, you are always covered up like you are afraid of the sunlight or something. The sincere worry in their tones made Beckham's throat constrict. He wanted to dismiss their concerns and insist everything was normal, but the weight of his secret suddenly felt unbearable. He started, then faltered. How could he possibly explain the chaos of the past few months? The humiliation of his sun damage, the unexpected awakening of desires he did not fully comprehend. Lena reached out and placed a comforting palm on his limb. You can tell us anything, Beck. We are your companions. The sincerity in her eyes broke something loose inside Beckham's torso. Before he could halt himself, the terms came tumbling out. I acquired a swimming gown, he blurted, immediately wishing he could retract it. A moment of stunned quiet followed his confession. Beckham braced himself for disgust or mockery, but when he finally gathered the courage to look up, he saw only curiosity and backing reflected in his companions' faces. A swimming gown? Aileen repeated, her tone neutral. Like to wear to the shoreline? Beckham nodded, his cheeks burning. I appreciated how it appeared, how it covered more skin. But I have never worn it out. I cannot. Why not? Lena inquired softly. The question hung in the air, heavy with implications. Beckham struggled to find the terms to express the tangle of emotions he had been grappling with. Because males do not wear gowns, he finally managed, his tone barely above a whisper. Everyone would laugh at me. Eileen's eyes flashed with determination. Ignore what everyone believes, she declared. If you like it and it makes you feel comfortable, that is all that matters. Lena nodded in agreement. Beck, we are your companions. We want you to be content and comfortable in your own skin. If wearing a swimming gown does that for you, then we back you 100%. Beckham sensed moisture prickling at the corners of his eyes. The acceptance and backing from his companions proved overwhelming, a soothing relief to the anxiety he had been carrying for months. You genuinely mean that? He inquired, hardly daring to believe it. Of course we do, Aileen stated firmly. In reality, why do you not show us if you are comfortable? Beckham paused, but the encouraging smiles from both ladies provided him courage. Okay, he agreed softly, but not here. Can we proceed to my residence? The walk to Beckham's residence was filled with anxious energy. Lena and Aileen chatted easily, clearly attempting to keep matters light and normal, but Beckham's mind raced with a blend of excitement and terror. By the time they reached his sleeping area, his palms were sweating. You do not need to do this if you are not prepared. Lena reassured him as he stood frozen before his storage. Beckham took a deep breath. No, I want to, he stated, surprised to find that he truly meant it. With shaking palms, he retrieved the swimming gown from its hiding place. We will turn around while you change, Aileen offered, already spinning to face the wall. Lena followed suit, offering Beckham a supportive grin over her shoulder. As he slipped the gown over his head, Beckham sensed a familiar sense of calm settle over him. The gentle material caressed his skin, and he permitted himself a moment to enjoy the sensation before clearing his throat. Okay, he stated softly. You can look now. Lena and Aileen turned slowly, their eyes enlarged as they took in the sight before them. Beckham stood awkwardly, his limbs wrapped around his middle, anxiously awaiting their response. Oh, Beck. Lena breathed. You appear amazing. Aileen nodded enthusiastically. Seriously, that gown was designed for you. You appear so comfortable and self-assured. Beckham sensed a small smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. Really? You do not think it appears odd? Not at all. Lena assured him. It suits you perfectly. How do you feel wearing it? Beckham considered the question, truly permitting himself to sense the material against his skin and the manner the gown moved as he adjusted his weight. I feel liberated, he admitted, like I can finally breathe. The ladies exchanged a meaningful glance. Beck. Aileen stated slowly, have you ever considered exploring this more? Not solely with swimming garments, but with other clothing, too. The question sent a jolt through Beckham's physique. He had pushed those thoughts aside, convinced they were too outlandish and too hazardous to entertain. But now, standing before his supportive companions and wearing a piece of clothing that made him feel more like himself than he had in months, the possibilities suddenly felt within reach. I have considered it, he confessed, but I would not even know where to begin. Lena's face illuminated with excitement. We could assist you if you want. We could proceed shopping, or you could test some of our garments to see what styles you like. The offer proved tempting, but Beckham hesitated. What about everyone else? My parents' education? I cannot simply commence wearing gowns all the time. You do not need to, Aileen reassured him. We can commence modestly. Maybe just wearing some womanly garments under your regular outfits, or experimenting with grooming when it is just us socializing. The idea sent a thrill of excitement through Beckham. You would really assist me with that? Both ladies nodded enthusiastically. Of course we would. Lena stated, that is what companions are for. For the initial occasion in months, Beckham sensed a heavy burden lift from his shoulders. He was not solitary in this journey. Whatever arrived next, he possessed the backing of his companions to guide him. The following weeks became a whirlwind of secret purchasing excursions and private transformation sessions. Lena and Aileen immersed themselves in assisting Beckham explore his newfound interest in womanly garments and grooming with enthusiasm and careful discretion. They commenced modestly with gentle, silky underlayers that Beckham could wear beneath his usual baggy trousers and oversized sweaters. Every movement reminded him of a secret, but it also made him feel more alive than he had in years. Gradually, they expanded his collection, a flowing upper layer here, a pair of fitted trousers there. Beckham marveled at how different materials felt against his skin, and how a well-fitted garment could completely alter his outline. He commenced paying more attention to the manner garments draped and moved, discovering a fresh appreciation for style he had never experienced before. Grooming proved a revelation. Aileen, with her steady hand and keen eye for shade, instructed Beckham how to apply eye lining and lash enhancement. The initial occasion he viewed himself with subtly enhanced eyes, he scarcely recognized his reflection. There existed a gentleness, a radiance that he had never seen in himself before. Lena focused on skin maintenance, introducing Beckham to a world of hydrating creams, serums, and face treatments. He found himself looking forward to their relaxation evenings, enjoying the feeling of properly caring for his skin and the quiet closeness of these moments with his companions. As Beckham grew more self-assured in his exploration, he commenced to sense a growing separation between his inner self and the persona he presented to the world. The baggy garments that had once been his sanctuary now felt like a disguise, concealing the individual he was slowly discovering himself to be. It was Lena who first proposed a more dramatic modification. "Have you ever considered allowing your locks to extend?" she inquired one afternoon as they lounged in her chamber, flipping through style publications. Beckham ran a hand through his brief, unremarkable brown locks. I guess I have not really considered it," he admitted. "Do you believe it would appear appealing lengthier?" Aileen sat up, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Oh my goodness, yes. You would appear amazing with lengthier locks. We could arrange it so many different manners." The idea took root, and Beckham found himself paying more attention to hairstyles, imagining how he might appear with flowing strands or a chic shortcut. He commenced utilizing Lena's cleansing products, marveling at how soft and shiny his locks became. As his locks extended, so did his self-assurance. Beckham commenced experimenting with more overtly womanly styles when he was solitary or with Lena and Aileen. He reveled in the feeling of a lower garment swishing around his limbs and the manner a well-fitted gown hugged his form. It was during one of these private style displays that Aileen made a suggestion that would modify everything. "You know," she stated pensively, observing Beckham rotate in a floral casual gown, "you appear so much happier like this. Have you ever considered transitioning?" The term hung in the air, heavy with possibility. Beckham froze, his mind racing. He had been so focused on exploring his interest in womanly garments and presentation that he had not permitted himself to consider the deeper implications. I do not know," he stated softly, sinking onto the mattress. "It is a substantial step," Lena stated, sitting beside him and placing a comforting palm on his limb. "But Beck, we have seen how much happier and more self-assured you have been these past few months. If this is truly who you are, maybe it is worth considering." Beckham's heart raced as he considered the possibility. The thought of living openly as a lady both thrilled and terrified him. "What about my parents?" he inquired, voicing his biggest dread. "They would never comprehend." "You do not need to decide anything right now," Aileen reassured him. "And you do not need to do it alone. We are here for you, whatever you choose." That evening, lying in bed, Beckham permitted himself to truly imagine a future where he lived as a lady. He pictured himself with long, flowing locks, wearing beautiful gowns without dread or shame. The image filled him with a deep sense of correctness, of finally returning home to himself. Over the next few weeks, Beckham immersed himself into investigation. He read countless pieces and discussion posts about gender identity and transition, watched recordings of individuals sharing their experiences, and even reached out anonymously to digital support groups. The more he learned, the more certain he became. The discomfort he had sensed in his own skin for so long, combined with the joy he found in womanly expression, all pointed to a truth he could no longer ignore. It was a sunny Saturday afternoon when Beckham finally voiced the terms aloud. She was sitting cross-legged on Lena's mattress, surrounded by the companions who had supported her through this entire journey of self-discovery. I think I am prepared," she stated, her tone trembling slightly. "I want to transition. I want to live as my true self." Lena and Aileen enveloped her in a tight, loving embrace, their eyes shining with pride and affection. "We are so proud of you," Lena whispered, "and we will be right here with you every step of the way." As they pulled apart, Aileen inclined her head pensively. "You know," she stated, "if you are going to commence this fresh chapter of your life, perhaps you would like a fresh designation to accompany it." The suggestion sent a thrill through Beckham. She had been so focused on the physical and emotional aspects of her transition that she had not even considered selecting a fresh designation for herself. But now that Aileen mentioned it, it felt exactly correct, a fresh designation for her true self. "I like that notion," she stated, a smile spreading across her face. "But I have no idea where to begin." "Well," Lena stated, pulling out her device, "let us look at some designation lists and see if anything jumps out at you." For the next 60 minutes, the three of them pored over lists of designations, calling out suggestions and debating the merits of each one. Some were quickly dismissed with laughter, while others received more serious consideration. It was Beckham who finally spotted it, a designation that seemed to resonate deep within her soul. "Evelyn," she stated softly, testing the feel of it on her tongue. "What do you think about Evelyn?" Lena and Aileen exchanged glances, then broke into wide, genuine smiles. "It is perfect," Lena declared. "It suits you beautifully." "Evelyn," Aileen repeated, nodding approvingly. "I love it. It is elegant and strong, just like you." And so, Evelyn was born. The path ahead would not be simple. There would be difficult discussions with family, challenges at education, and the complex procedure of medical transition. But as she sat there surrounded by the love and support of her companions, Evelyn sensed prepared to face whatever arrived her way. Thanks for viewing. Do not overlook examining my additional platforms if you desire more material, advanced entry, behind the scenes, and more. All connections below.